Still this morning on ITV. Before the break, we're looking at FCT Area Council election coming up on the 12th of February, of course, this year, 2022. And we're also looking at the voter apathy. You know, FCT is one of the cities in Nigeria that is highly secured, and you, to an extent, have little or no cases of electoral violence. And despite that, you discover that the number of those voting are so limited. And discussing on this is a public and political commentator, Hassan Sardana. Yeah, you are making a point on the manifesto before we went on that.
Yeah,
you can continue on.
Okay. What am I saying? Mostly people doesn't understand the difference between the responsibilities of a state and an area council or a local government. So what am I saying here is that area council in FCT have a status of local government. So there are some, those who are living like in a city center, a Wuse ward, some part of a Garki ward, some part of Nyanya, some part of Gorempa, already, or what area council will going to contribute and make their life easy, they have done it, or the state have taken it. The only people where you are expecting the presence of area council, elected chairman, to do something that you will feel or see the presence is the satellite town. For example, when you get to some places like Jiwa, Gwagwa, Karshi, you will see the presence of area council. And some areas in Kabusa ward, that is Shereti, Piakasa, Lugbe village and others. You see, go there, you'll see some third road that are not up to standard of what they call it, state or local federal government road, third by the local government chairman. That is the area council chairman. You will see some places where they have town halls constructed. You will see places where they build they put a feeder road where there was no feeder road. There are places in city they provide transformers and whatever. And then they are the ones now dealing with the, what they call it, this environmental that carried the waste in the city. So these are all the deed and done of AMAC, also area council chairman in FCT. So if for any reason a person of high level will tell you that he or she is not seeing the presence or the apathy or the impacts of area council chairman in AMAC, I think because he or she doesn't know the roles or the responsibilities. Yeah, no,
I'm not really focusing on AMAC. I'm saying in the CIS area council.
No, when you go to the...
for example, for many years now, there has been a project to connect Karshi and Dapo, and that falls within the area council.
Yes.
And that has not been done.
Yes.
There are some areas in the FCT that they don't get pipe bomb water, despite the fact that they are in the city and provision has been made for them. It falls within the area council responsibility to ensure that residents get pipe bomb water. You also discovered that recently there's this solar powered street lights, you know, in most streets, you know, but it is not, it is, I don't want to use the word selected, but I have used it because that's the one that comes to my mind now. You discover that it is on some street and then some other street is not there. The rationale behind that we do not know. So why is it that at this time election is closed, nobody is even talking about what he or she would do or give to the people in terms of dividend of democracy?
I was able to be in Karshi yesterday, and inside with my phone here, the road that you just mentioned, I went through the road until when I linked to Waru, definitely. And some 2 months ago, you cannot link that road to Waru. And for your information, it is not the jurisdiction of the AMAC chairman. It's the jurisdiction of the FCT minister. And I could remember when the FCT state minister, Dr. Ramatu Abdullahi, was at Karshi to commission or to, break ground of, flag of the break ground of Muhammad Buhari staff estate of about more than 4,000 housing units. She made mention that that very road, they will going to, what do they call it? They have given the contract, they will going to revoke the contract if the person that is working, or the company that is working on that road have not increased, or how would I say it, heighten the speed of the work. Because the promise, the FCT ministry, that by last year March, it will go April, it will going to be commissioned. But to her surprise, this when she was making this statement, it was 1st October of last year, that up to now there is no sign of finishing of that road. So they are having an intention to revoke it. So what I don't know is that either they have revoked the road company, or they have not revoked it. But yesterday, I personally, Hassan Sadona, I was at Karshi, and I went through that very road connecting what they call it, Waru Apo district. It is almost to a finishing touch. Before, you cannot pass, because you know the place is very hilly and whatever. This is it. Then coming to the pipe-borne water that you are talking about, if you go to Karshi, I have realized that the ministry have done almost 60 to 70% of their water system, because they are building or constructing a mini dam there for the and the what they call it, water tank something for the residents of Karshi and their area attached. So for that reason, this project is not for FCT area council, it's for the ministry. And then those where FCT area council are involved, as I said earlier, it is to do with maybe transformer, giving satellite towns light, that is electricity, feeder road. Even the third road is not to their standard, but because they are getting a lot sum of money from either IGR revenue and the federal allocation, and the state minister and the minister is not touching any part of their money, unlike that of the governors in their state, because they are taking everything from the local government with the name of joint something allocation. So for FCT, within the level of area council, they are doing their best. Only that when you go on, it's natural. Even in our governance, you can see some are working, some are not working. Some are only talking when they heard that the Buhari was going to give them another 180-something billion naira, where he was even stating that the salary was not there. The pensions arrears for more than, say, how many months are not paid. If he was saying that he never knew that President Muhammad Buhari is a God-fearing person with this.
But you know Papi very well.
I know Papi.
But how come Papi is not benefiting from any of this intervention?
You see,
no street light, the road is just only one, and I'm sure you know how the road is. You know, Papi has concentration of, you know, business.
Yes.
You know, and the city generates revenue from it. Despite what they are generating, not even a construction of an additional road to, you know, to make movement
easy.
Easy. Why?
Okay, let me help you out. You know, Papi is not like maybe Karshi, or Papi is not like maybe Garki.
They are all under FCT.
They are under FCT.
Yes.
But there is something that people doesn't want to hear, but it's a real. Papi is a layout that people or citizens that are staying there for now, they are staying temporal. That is a temporary site.
How do you mean?
One day they will going to ask them to leave. And you were aware, sometimes back, toward the end of the tenure of, first tenure of President Jonathan, they were almost leaving because there was the federal government or the FCT government have made an announcement that they should leave because that place is not for them. As we are talking, Papi is, they call it Maitama 2 or Maitama 3, something like that. These places that you are seeing in Papi, those that single road that you are seeing that links Papi to the town, I am telling you, it's a big man plot. There is one estate that they are building there. It's Gadonasco, late Gadonas, what they call it, Mama Vasa plot that they are now, I think, giving out for development, for partnership or whatever. So those type of things, those type of areas, they are owned by some, allocated to some people for a donkey years. And that is why the ministry are very careful in dealing with such things. But when you go to places like Bagalafi, after Nyanya, maybe you never been there, maybe you never heard this name.
No,
you see,
I've been there.
When you go there,
I've been to Bagalafi.
So before then,
you pass through the police barracks.
Police barracks.
I've been there.
And then, so before then, the way you look very cute and very handsome like this with this your suit, if you go there 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you cannot come back at this very season with your car if you don't have an AC. It will be a dusty something. Your car will look very tattered, your clothes. And when it is rainy season, you cannot use a car because it was not motorable. But if you use even what they call it, a motorcycle, you will go and maybe you may tendency of falling down because the place is slippery, the road. But now there is a third road. So what we are saying there, that very out district or that very out satellite town has been designed on how the people will going to stay there and remain firm forever. But here in Papi, there is tendency, some of the majority out of 100%, 70 to 85% are going. So if a federal government or federal ministry of capital territory made a structures that you are thinking of, it can be possible. The only way the area council will come in by making some boreholes and whatever, which they are doing. If you link the way to share what they share and whatever, you will realize that what I'm saying is not a lie, it's true. A lot of things are happening. If you go to Shere, that what they call it, new Shere, where I think since during the FCT minister Malam Nasru Erufai, the estate was built there. When you go there, you will see a dividends of democracy, and you will realize that those who are involved are assisting and putting things in place for the ordinary and common man to enjoy. But for Papi, the place is very chock up. They are very, you cannot deny. I think you know there was quarry going on around the place when we are having that trauma some times back. And it has to be stopped because the residents are in danger. And for that reason, you cannot develop an area which is another person allocation before. So if they will going to develop, they can only do what? Put an access of road and water system. Let me bring you back. The FCT minister, the present FCT minister, is the only FCT minister in the history of FCT. I know a lot of people doesn't know this. That is able to put a lot of energy in bringing more comfort and easiness for the residents of FCT to enjoy water. Phase 4 and phase 5 are now working because if you remember some few months ago, they have put a timetable of so place will have a shortage of water from so date to so date. And maybe people doesn't know why. Because they are upgrading this very water system. And for your information, a lot of districts were constructed and there is no access to pure, that is water. But for now, I am assuring you that those places, this minister has pinpointed them and is working toward them. Secondly, it is only in this time I realized, I made this personal investigation to find out there is no crisis of double allocation. You will be hearing people in some of people medias. I have seen people protesting in Kaduna and Abuja here that this minister is not allocating land to the people. He just hold it to stand by. Yes, in I think Karsana or one of these layout around these places. I can assure you that when he came into the power as a minister, you will realize a single plot has more than 3 to 4 people owned by 4 people. But when he came, he tried to sort out that double allocation. Who is the real genuine owner of
who got it first?
Then everybody was settled. So now if you go to the court and this local whatever before, every day you will find a case of a plot of land. But today it is a history. So this is a great achievement that people doesn't know and never have an interest to know why we are not hearing about land crisis again. Plot double allocation, because the minister is doing what he's supposed to do.
Okay, now let's come back to the polls. You know, the FCT shares border with Kaduna, Niger, Kogi, and Nasarawa. Let's look at Kogi and Niger. In between Kotonkarfe and Abaji, there's a border. In between Zuba and Madala, there's a border. Dede and Dakwa, there's a border. And it appears people from this other side used to come and participate during FCT election. Are you not worried?
No, I'm not worried.
Why?
Normally, there is some certain things that people don't understand in the making of election. You do election where there are three things: where do you where you reside, or you are having a business, or you these are the two major things. Your place of work, where you are residing. You understand what I'm saying? Or you are doing your business. Most of the people that are staying in Dakwa, that has a border with Niger State, they are working with FCT. Every day, from morning to evening, they are here. So they have a right of casting their vote here, because they are staying where
that is for those that have PVC collected under FCT.
That is true. And most of these things that we are talking about, this is what it costs. Because if you are coming from Mararaba, that is Kefi axis, into Abuja, you know what you are seeing. If you are coming from Gwarimpa Kubwa axis, you know what you are seeing. When you are coming to the airport road, you know what you are seeing. Because the only people that are staying in FCT and are coming in large number, those are coming from the airport road. They are staying at Kuje, Gwagwalada, Kwali, some suburb of FCT in, let's say, Gosa, whatever. But those who are coming directly from these places, some are coming from even Kaduna State before Jere, some are coming from Niger State, because there is no place for them to stay. And this is the working place. They are not staying, they are just staying there as a casual residence, not for a permanent. If for what they are here for, they could have been staying in FCT. And for that reason, they have did their what they call it, voters card in FCT. So when it's time for election, you can't deny them coming to cast their vote, because all their businesses, all their working places are inside FCT. They are not from Niger State. They maybe come from Enugu or Sokoto or Anambra or Cross River State. So why can't they know? They came here purposely to serve FCT and Nigeria, and the place they're supposed to cast their vote is an FCT. So they have a right to that. Anybody denying that, there is subjecting to their freedom.
Then what about those that come to infiltrate and destabilize the process?
You see, now you are talking about the natural and behavioral acts of Nigeria, citizen of Nigeria.
But should it happen in the FCT?
You have said it
in
first.
The FCT?
Yes, I have said it first. That you said FCT is free from insecurity,
the
free from
city
violence.
Center.
Yes.
City center.
Yes.
City center. The Amak, Asokoro, Metama, Garki, Wuse, the Games Village.
Metropolitan.
You can't, even if you have 10 heads, you keep 9 heads and then work with one because you don't know who you are against.
Yes.
So, but in the suburbs, it's not the same.
But I don't know the suburb that you are talking about. Are you talking about Gwagwalada Area Council or Kuje or Buari or Abaji?
The places I just mentioned, the Dakwa and
you see, the
Zuba and Madala, the Koton Karfe, and those extreme, those borders.
Those who are not very close attached to FCT, you are expecting sometimes their politics to be volatile. Volatile in the sense that the politicians are the ones playing the game. Somebody called me yesterday in the morning that day before yesterday, in just Geo Ward here, they went out for their councillor campaign. And within the party structure, there is a kind of friction. So for that reason, they were attacked. Some were even injured, both men and women. So what am I trying to say is that you cannot take away from the political hulubalo of Nigeria just because this is resident of FCT. What you are seeing in Lokoja when you go there, that is what you will see maybe some part of Abaji. What you are seeing maybe in Enugu or Sokoto, that is what you will see in Gwagwala, some part of the Gwagwala area council. What you are seeing maybe in Borno State when it is election period, that is what you will see maybe in Kuje or Buari area council of their suburb. So what am I trying to say? Even inside Kuje or Buari, Gwagwala area council, Kwali or Abaji, such things that you are talking about will not happen. They will not. It will not occur. But maybe in the satellite towns of that very suburb of those very area council, something like that will happen. But it's natural. All what we want to do is that, as I'm saying that, a lot of sensitization is going on. A lot of a call for awareness is going on, so that we reduce the level of political thuggery. We call to the attention of young men, that is the youth, who has the future at their door and who hold the 4 S's for now. They are the one that can decide who to win and not who to win and not to win. But the most important thing is that until when you call them and sensitize and create awareness so that they will know that this thing that they are doing is very important. You will imagine that if you go to some suburb, you find out that a young man of that come to cast his vote, he will carry a leaf of a tree and put under his either cap or either by his this or tied it by his pickup or whatever, or his pocket. I thought it was a different thing. They told me no, that he will not vote until when he has been given something. You realize he's working for pay before services? And since you are doing pay before services as a young man, are you expecting any dividends of democracy when the person that you voted him out to be? Because he has paid you. He went and carried money, borrowed money, sell some part of his business or whatever he is doing. His sponsors has put a lot of in him so that he can win this election. Until when citizens of Nigeria stop seeing election as a do or die affairs, stop thinking election is a elective office, it's a place to go and make personal money. Until when we stop and stop thinking that an elective position is second to God, because there are some people who feel that if you become a chairman or you become a councillor in your community, the audacity is you are above and beyond every citizen there. I understand that, and you know that. And the citizens of FCT are not far from what we are talking about. The only ones that you are going to see a lot of maturity and sensitization within them, there are those who are living within the metropolitan of Amak and other cities.
Okay, we hope to get the best in this election slated for 12th of February 2022. I must say thank you to Hassan Sardona for your time with us on this discussion segment.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we shall be looking at other issues. Stay with us.